With this being my first job, I probably should choose something that can be easily completed, Claire thought to herself. Claire had been staring at the board inside the Adventurers Guild. Since her level was 4, she had only been looking at the section for adventurers lower than level 10. Each of the jobs near her level were pretty easy, only a few related to hunting the monsters around the starting village. Turning to look behind her, she noticed a lack of adventurers inside the guild, compared to where she went for training. The guild really reflects the location, she softly said to herself. It's understandable, Hannah answered. I heard that many of the adventurers, once they reach level 10, take a job guarding a merchant's carriage or save enough to pay for the shuttle going to the nearby town. Not really caring where they were, she was focused on finding a job that interested her. Returning her attention to the board, Claire tried to find something that the two of them could work on. Being the first job in the simulation, it felt like it set a good pace to complete it together. They could go their separate ways after the first one, since there weren't many that allowed for a party to be involved. How about hunting for horned rabbits? Hannah pointed at a job requiring adventurers to hunt the monsters and collect the fur. It's open, so as long as you bring the monsters, then you'll get paid. Claire tried to look for the job that Hannah was talking about. As her eyes scanned the numerous sheets stuck to the board, she finally located the sheet that Hannah was talking about. Taking the thumbtack off of the paper, she took the sheet as she pushed the tack back onto the board where it belonged. Gather the fur of horned rabbits, Claire read the job. Her eyes moved to the corner where she saw 5 stars, meaning the person making the request was in good standing with the guild. There was also no set time duration for when the fur had to be gathered, connecting with the fact that it was an open request. It looks like we'll be able to earn a guild point for every horned rabbit we bring to the guild, Hannah pointed out, sounding excited. Nodding at her friend's words, Claire said, I think this is a good selection to make. Let's head over to the counter to let the guild know about us taking on this job. She looked at the counter across from the front desk, where adventurers could take on jobs and turn in what they've gathered for the job requirements. With Hannah following behind her, Claire made her way over to the nearest counter. Since the board was close to where the adventurers report the acceptance of a job, they didn't need to take much time. At the counter, Claire saw a woman with a cheerful disposition. She looked like an employee that enjoyed their job, even though the guild they were in was in a small village. Have you selected the job? The woman brushed some loose strands of her blonde hair back behind her ear, the rest of her hair in a professional bun. With the rest of the uniform she was wearing, the woman gave off a career woman vibe. Placing the sheet on the counter and sliding it to the woman, Claire said, We'd like to take this one. Taking the paper, the woman scanned the job and the requirements. Her eyes returned to looking at Claire and Hannah. Could I have your adventurer information? The woman smiled. Lifting her wrist that had a bracelet, Claire felt amazed at how Star and Moon incorporated the same technology inside the bracelet to be used inside the simulation. As the employee pulled out a crystal sticking out of a shining metal box, Claire performed the same action she had done countless times when she was in school. Just like in the cafeteria, upon recognizing the information in the bracelet, the crystal glowed green. Hannah followed the same procedure. After they had finished the scan, the woman shifted her eyes to look behind the barrier that prevented people from seeing sensitive documents. Returning her focus on Claire and Hannah, she said, You both have the necessary qualifications to take on this job. Though she knew that they would both be able to do the job, Claire still felt relieved to hear the confirmation. Just to remind you, this job requires you to check in with the guild at least once a day. If you fail to check in after a set number of days, a job will be sent out to locate you, and the two of you will be responsible for any costs associated with the job. The woman explained. Seeing the two of them nod their heads, she continued, "If you need any equipment, we have a store inside the guild that corresponds to the level of this job." "We're good on that." Claire tapped her hand on a handgun resting on her waist. She also felt a rifle on her back. Hannah had the same handgun and rifle, having coincidentally made the same decision as Claire in terms of what to select for a weapon. It was likely due to their studying habits, where they tended to reach a similar conclusion after reading the same books and following similar strategies for performing well on exams. Smiling at the response, the woman continued, "With this job, we also offer training, such as removing the fur off the horned rabbits. This is not only to help you develop survival skills, being able to turn the meat into a stew using ingredients from your surroundings, but also saving some money by skinning the animal yourself instead of having the guild perform the service." Listening to the woman, Claire felt as though it was finally starting, their journey to becoming stronger and someday surviving in a new, harsh world.